Hi, Peace. Phil here with a Minute of Peace. Last Friday night, I went to bed. Last thing I watched was sports. Somebody asked Coach Ryan Day how he was going to get his Ohio State football team ready. And he said, well, I really don't know. I know I want to challenge him today and say, are you going to come out of this thing worse or better? And I thought, wow, that's really, really great question. Phil, are you going to come out of this worse or better? So I got up the next morning, I'm getting ready to do my devotions, and I'm going to get my day planned. I'm all pumped up. And I put on Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, the finale, the Ode to Joy. About 2 minutes into that symphony, there's these two orchestra hits, and then this iconic melody comes out of the lower string section. And I thought, how amazing that such music of joy would come from someone like Beethoven, who fought depression and unhappiness his whole life. He was dealt a really bad hand, and he started to lose his hearing when he was young. And by the time he was 48, he was totally deaf. And what is even more remarkable is that he completed this symphony 5 years later. He never heard it. He only thought it. And then I thought, well, I'm sure Beethoven never dreamed in his wildest dreams that 83 years later, a pastor from New York named Henry Van Dyke would be so inspired by his music that he would pen 4 verses to a hymn that would inspire and become the face of trust, hope, and joy all over the world, to believers all over the world, known as Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee. And then my next thought came from Paul's letter to the Romans, 5th chapter, 3rd verse. And we rejoice in the hope of the glory of God. Not only so, but we also rejoice in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not disappoint us, because God has poured out his love into our hearts by the Holy Spirit, whom he has given us. And that kind of took me full circle back around. And I thought, Coach Day, thanks for the challenge. Beethoven, thank you for enduring and persevering and writing such amazing music. Henry Van Dyke, thank you for being so close to God that you could pen words that would inspire believers and worships for the next 113 years. And Paul, thank you for reminding us that hope does not disappoint, and that God has poured out his love through the gift of the Holy Spirit. I know these are really tough, challenging times, but these are proof God can take anything, the worst, what looks like disaster, and turn it into an eternal hope and joy. My challenge to you today is stay safe and find your joy today.